If you are planning to sell a home, this show is for you. Hello and welcome to Secrets to Real Estate Prosperity TV show, where we will bring you the information you need and will help you to sell your home. Today I have a very important guest who will share her secrets that should help you to sell your home for top dollar. Her name is Dora Tam, and she's going to talk to you about a very important aspect of selling a home, which is called staging. Hi, Dora.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show. Very happy to have you here. I understand that you've been in the staging business for some time. Could you please first introduce yourself, and then you will share your secrets that you brought to us today?
Sounds good. My name is Dora Tam, and I'm with 365 Staging. I'm an interior designer, and I also do staging.
Excellent. Welcome again, and let's talk.
Okay, great.
So I have several questions, and my first question will be, what is staging, and why should homeowners stage a home when they're trying to sell a home? Why is it so important?
Great. So staging is what I call an investment. It's an investment in marketing the home, because the home is the product, right? So we have to present it in the best possible way, have a great first impression as buyers come up to the house, and imagine themselves living in the home. So the whole goal of staging is to help you sell the house as fast as possible and for top dollar by presenting it in the best possible light.
I agree with you. It makes a big difference, and my experience as a real estate broker comes from visiting homes, new homes and old homes as well. And it's a big difference when you come to a stage home versus empty house.
Absolutely. And we should keep in mind that the first place people look for a home is on the internet. At least 90% of the people looking for a home are going to go on Zillow, Redfin, or Realtor.com. And there are lots of homes for them to look at. So what is going to make your listing stand out? And that would be a staged home.
Excellent, excellent. It definitely makes sense. Well, I have another question to ask you. So what is the advantage of hiring a professional home stager versus decorating the home on your own, so to say? So
right.
Can you explain to us, please?
Yes. So this question comes up all the time. A lot of home sellers think that it's just a simple process of decluttering the home, and that's enough. However, what I think that they don't realize is when you have a house for sale, you have to have it shine. And one of the major things that I think having a home stager do the home for you is, number one, we are very aware and have a lot of experience knowing what is going to make that house stand out. We are also trained in knowing what the latest design trends are, what colors to use, what areas do you want to focus on. Also, a lot of homes that I go to see, especially if it's an owner-occupied home, where they're going to be living in the home during the selling process, is they might have some of the basic furniture, but they purchased this furniture and their accessories over many years. So a lot of these products don't go well together. Also, they tend to have too much stuff in their home, and also they're not really sure what to edit, what to get rid of, what to keep. And the other thing is many people don't really know how to accessorize. So I usually see a complete lack of accessories, and what I mean by accessories is art, little sculptures, plants, things like that that really bring it alive. And another one that I think is really key is if a homeowner is going to do it themselves, it's probably going to take them weeks to do what we could do for them in one day, and just completely transform the home, get it ready on the market, because speed onto the market is really key. So you don't want to spend weeks preparing the home for sale when a professional can come in, know exactly what to do, have the inventory for it, have the expertise for it, and get it done in, you know, a very short amount of time.
You just brought up a lot of very important points, and you covered quite a bit of very important information, I should say. So based on what I just heard from you, I would like to go back and reiterate something that you already said, to make it stand out for people, to make them understand how important this is. One of the things that let's start from the very beginning. So the homeowner decides to put the house for sale. The house is an old home. People lived there for 20 years. My goodness, that's a lifetime, right? So they were able to accumulate some stuff there, which is very dear to them. So when a real estate agent comes in and say, listen, some of the stuff needs to go, either throw it away or, you know, put it in somewhere, but it needs to leave the house to make it presentable, to look better. If the homeowner feels that this is not the right approach, and you feel it is the right approach, what would you recommend for the listing agent to do and to say in this situation?
Yes, so that's a really tricky situation, because you don't want to get the homeowner upset, because it's very, very personal. Especially the longer they live in the house, the more personal it is for them. So that's a really great time to call your stager and have a conversation before the appointment, so we can talk about what their concerns are and how we are going to address it. And many times, a lot of the same information that I would give the seller is what you're going to say as well. However, being a neutral third party, where I can come in with my design expertise and also my experience with the market and knowing what works and what doesn't, sometimes that carries a little more weight with the home seller. And so I would you know, go through the whole house with them, room by room, telling them what to do, and you know, how things are going to be perceived by the buyers. One thing I think is when you've lived in a house for a very, very long time, sometimes you become kind of blind to what doesn't look really good anymore, because you're just so used to having it there. Another thing about staging is it's a completely different thing than living in the home. What we're trying to do with staging is to show off the space. And you want buyers to imagine their furniture in the home, and also thinking that, okay, everything I'm going to bring will fit into this home. So it's very important to have a really neutral type of style that appeals to a broad number of people that are looking for homes. So a stager can guide you through that process. Sometimes it's easiest just to remove everything, and if you're going to live in the home, just to keep the bed. And I like to say that if you're going to, you know, move out, try moving out one time versus multiple times. Your expenses are going to go up, and it's a lot more stressful for the seller. So, you know, if you're going to live in the home, just keep your bed, and we'll do the rest. And it's going to be kind of uncomfortable for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, but you're going to be very happy with the results.
You know, I can't agree with you more. And again, as a professional, real estate professional, I would like to run by you what I tell people. And please tell me if this is something that you like it, or maybe you don't like it, and I'm open to your suggestions. So when I come into the house, which is very old, the first thing you notice is the smell. Every house smells with their own kind of particular smell. And another thing that really strikes me in the older homes, really older homes, like you said, a lot of clutter there. So my approach is that you're right. This is a product. This is no longer your home.
Yes.
You want to sell it, look at this home as a product. When you go to the store, you see the product, and if it looks good to you, and it functions well, and so on and so forth, and the price is right,
Yes.
you buy it. So that's what I tell people. I also tell people that the smell, the specific for each home, can go away actually if you remove the older furniture. The old furniture can create that smell.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes there are things like the cooking smells that are really ingrained into like every fiber. That could be your fabrics on your sofa, your curtains, the carpet, sometimes even your drywall. So it kind of depends on, how extensive it is.
Yes,
And we've all
yes.
been in some very
Yes.
stinky homes, right?
Yes, yes.
So sometimes the best thing to do is kind of start over where you have new flooring,
Yes.
paint,
Yes.
and of course getting rid of all that furniture,
Yes,
bringing in the
yes.
stage furniture,
Yes.
and taking care of it that way. And now there are also options where you have people that specialize in odor removal. So they are, down to the molecular level where they treat the house so that the odor is not covered up, but permanently removed. So I think
Excellent.
that's really important to.
And
Yeah.
you can send people to those
Yes.
people, kind of help each other, so to say.
Yes.
That sounds real good. So the bottom line is, when we are talking about selling a home, one of the first things homeowners need to understand, the house must be presentable. No question. No
Yes.
question. So there is an expression, first impression counts, right? I think this
Absolutely.
impression is very good and can be applied to this situation where a buyer comes into the house, and the first impression, that's what does it. Either
Yes.
he stays or leaves forever.
Yes.
So that's how I see it. Okay, very good. I appreciate this information. And now I have another question. We talk sometimes about interior decorator or stager. If you don't mind to tell us, what's the difference between staging and interior decorating?
So it sounds like they're very similar. However, being an interior designer for many years, I know that it is a completely different service. So as an interior designer, if I'm working with a client and they have very specific tastes, the whole idea of interior design is to do a custom design just for that one client that addresses their interior style as well as their lifestyle. And so it becomes very specific to that person and their family. So those are all the things that are addressed during the design process. Now with staging, it is the complete opposite. First of all, we don't usually consult with the homeowner on what their tastes are, or even the real estate agent. We will actually go through the home and we will look at doing things that kind of present a neutral look to the home. However, the idea is to attract the most number of buyers possible. So it still has to look beautiful. It has to apply design principles, but we're going to do a style and a look and create a flow that we know will appeal to a lot of people. So it is, to me, almost a complete polar opposite of what I do as an interior designer.
It's really a great point you just brought up. Interior designer, just to reiterate that people really understand, it's someone hires someone like interior decorator,
Yes.
and they do everything according to the people's taste. Where
Exactly.
staging, the purpose of staging is different. The purpose of staging is to transform the old home and prepare it to sell for top dollar. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
So you just mentioned previously that you've been trained to do staging. Could you please kind of explain to us, is there a training to do this type of work?
Yeah, so I base my training through my interior design work.
I see.
And then also getting to know real estate agents and seeing what's in the market, seeing what works, seeing what attracts people, and applying all my previous interior design knowledge and experience into the staged presentation.
Yeah, that's certainly quite an experience you have. If I were a home seller, I will trust you for sure.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep going. I have another question I would like to ask you. So we're talking about stager. Who hires that person? Who is driving that particular step in the home selling process?
Yeah, so typically we are contacted by a real estate agent. So primarily our business is a business to business versus business to consumer. Very rarely do we have a homeowner contacting us directly. So we meet a lot of real estate agents through different events, and I do a lot of classes for real estate agents throughout Santa Clara County. So that's how they know about us and how we end up working with them.
That's good to know. And one thing that always comes to my mind, at least when I talk to home sellers, I would like to offer them this service at no charge for them. That's what I do. And the reason being that certainly it's worth my money, at least, because I know the value of staging, and it makes them feel better that it's not an extra expense.
Yes.
So is this what, generally speaking, very common? In real estate?
Yeah, so we do see a lot of different ways that the staging is paid for. A lot of agents do pay for that as part of their service to the home seller. However, I have seen where they split the cost, or sometimes the real estate agent fronts the cost, and once the home sells, then the homeowner pays back the agent. So we've seen all sorts of deals, but usually we are contacted through the real estate agent
real
first.
estate agents. Well, I have a note for home sellers out there. When you talk to a real estate agent, and if he or she doesn't mention staging, please find out from that person, from that agent, if she can refer you to the right person and how to handle this. And please don't be afraid to ask her or him to pay for it. It's no big deal, and nothing is wrong doing this. Thank you for that. And then, so when you are hired, let's start from this point now. When you're hired, you walk into the room, what are you looking for? You said you go from room to room. Can you give us some tips what you're looking for?
Sure. So my consultation with the home seller and the agent actually starts right at the curbside. As I come in, I look at the home from the exterior.
Okay.
And I'm looking for things that look like they're in disrepair, or the landscaping needs to look nice and neat. I'm looking at, if the windows are cleaned, the light fixture at the front of the house is working. Does it look good? Is it updated? Is the paint peeling? So I'm looking at all those things and kind of keeping in mind that, okay, the first impression of the home is the exterior. Okay, so I will make some suggestions to the client and the real estate agent on what they could do to improve the exterior first. Also, I walk from room to room. I usually start at the entry, work my way through the living room, the kitchen, and all the other rooms, and then usually to the bedrooms and then the backyard. So I'm looking at, if somebody's going to be living in the home, can we use some of their furniture? Almost, I would say, like 90% of the time, I usually suggest staging company is going to bring in the furniture and all the accessories and everything. And a lot of times I do find things are just not in good shape. they don't match, the colors aren't right. So I'll make some suggestions on that, but normally we end up bringing in all the furniture. I also look at the paint colors and see if it's a neutral color. Sometimes you see some really strong colors on the wall or some really strange accent walls in weird colors that don't really match anything.
That's true.
I'm looking at the flooring, see if that's in good repair. You know, see if it's one flooring all the way throughout, or if it's really choppy where they have, you know, 5 different floors in the house. That is not a good thing. So if they do have the budget to change the floors out, I will mention it and suggest it. Looking at the kitchen, they always say the kitchen sells the home. So people usually want what I call the move-in ready home, right? So if a lot of people come in and they say, oh my gosh, this kitchen, you know, I can't live with this. You know, then we think, what can we do? Is it a minor repair where we can just paint the cabinets and put some new hardware on it, maybe change the countertop, change out some appliances, or is it a major repair that's needed where you're just remodeling it? So we can make those suggestions. Same with the bathrooms. People tend to not like a bathroom that's really old, especially like the toilet. So that's a very inexpensive thing to change. So I'm looking at all of these things and you know, making notes and letting them know these are the things that I advise that you can do to really get top dollar for the home. And I think a good stager will always let the client know that they can feel comfortable saying no to any of these things. It is my best professional advice. You don't have to listen to any of it. And I think a lot of stagers are very flexible to let them know, okay, if these things are not possible to change, then our job as stagers is to do something that enhances the house as it is, kind of distract maybe from things that are not as good looking, have people be able to focus on other things. So we're very flexible to you know, work with the client and their budget, and if they can follow that advice, then if they're really serious about getting top dollar for their home, these are things that they really should take into account.
Yeah, that sounds real good. That's a really good guide for people to understand. And one thing I would like to add to what you just mentioned, when the stager works with people's home versus homeowners do it themselves, the stager understands the trends. The stager understands the audience out there. The house must be something in between old and new, because you never know, maybe young people will come in. And that part is so important that homeowners, when they're hiring stagers, they really benefit from that particular job and service. That's my thought on that. Okay, very good. You just mentioned earlier that homeowners may or may not move out. And if it's harder for everyone when they stay in the house. But sometimes they cannot move until they sell the house.
Right.
So if they cannot move out, can you still do the staging for them?
Oh, absolutely.
You can, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we do take into account, you know, their comfort, you know, in putting out certain accessories. Like in the kitchen, we know they're going to be cooking in it, so maybe put a little more minimal accessories, and then they'll have pictures of how everything should look, so when it's time for the open house and the photos, they can put everything back to exactly how we do it. Let's say for their bedroom, we like to use a lot of pillows to make it look really luxurious, so they can take a look at the picture and arrange the pillows just so it looks exactly the same. So we try to make things as easy and as the least amount of stress possible, because selling a house is a very stressful time. We're here to support them. We're here to help them reach their goals to, get top dollar for the home. So yes, we can work with an owner-occupied home. But I think for most people, once they realize that people are going to be coming in and out and maybe at different times, that sometimes it's easier just to get an Airbnb for 2 or 3 weeks and not be in the home. So they kind of figure that out on their own.
I understand, and I hope people understand too, but they should not be scared. If you guys need to stay home, they can be found the way to make the house look pretty and for you to be comfortable. That's the bottom line, right?
Yes.
All right. So for homeowners who vacate the house, do you have any suggestions that you would like to make?
Yeah, so if they're going to vacate the home, it actually makes it easier for everybody involved in that selling process. So I think the most important thing is to make sure you get a deep cleaning before you leave. So the stagers should be the very last people in the house. Everything should be pristine. Nice and clean. So deep cleaning versus a regular cleaning that you might get from your, cleaner
Cleaners,
that you hire every month or so.
Every month, yeah.
They're cleaning the cabinets. They're cleaning inside the refrigerator, inside all the cabinets. So it's definitely what they call a deep clean versus a regular clean.
Yeah, that sounds real good. And when it comes to staging the home, generally speaking, you mentioned that homeowners can choose or not to choose which way to go. That choosing also depends on the price, or the price doesn't matter here. I just want to understand, and hopefully people too.
Yeah, so staging a home usually is a lot easier when it's a vacant home. Sometimes when working with homeowners things, it actually takes more time because you're trying to find things that work with their things.
So does it cost more?
It's actually the same price.
Same price.
Yes.
That was my question. Well, I think that you covered quite a bit, and I'm very grateful to you. And I hope that I learned a lot from you today, and I hope people out there also learned a lot and will use your information wisely.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for coming to the show. And next time you are here, I definitely hope you will come back. Please show us good looking homes or bad looking homes, whatever you want. Just show us some of your work.
Okay, sounds
great.
great.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.